The gentleman from South Carolina, Mr. Norman, is now recognized for 5 minutes.
I want to thank each of you for taking the time to come. You know, it's, as has been noted, for the SEC to basically dictate the 500-page climate disclosure rule is idiotic. SEC doesn't have the power or the authority, nor was it granted by Congress. To hear some of the statements that have been made, you know, the thing about the capitalism, you know, taking away choices. Andy Barr brought the exact point up. Why is government needed then? Why is government needed to dictate that? Why is government needed to dictate electric cars, which I turned on the news this morning, electric cars are sitting in the lots. The public doesn't want them, particularly when the batteries to run them, cobalt, lithium, come from China, as well as aluminum. That's stupid. It is very interesting when you talk about ESG requirements, you know, disclosure, make sure the shareholder knows everything about it. That hasn't been done. In this sense, I'm a real estate developer. If I put a proposal for you for real estate, you would want to know every line item and where the money goes. Where is that in the disclosures as it relates to ESG? It's not there. I haven't seen it. I'm talking about the money that Ms. Tlaib's talking about, the billions of dollars. Tell me how you're going to, where is it spent actually? Where does the dollars go? It goes to groups that have nothing to do with curing, promoting the floods she's talking about and the hurricanes. A man's not going to control that. That's idiotic to think that. I had a group of meteorologists in the other day who are pretty well experts. I asked them about, you know, the comments about man's going to control, how can we control the floods and the hurricanes? They laughed me out of the building. And it was at the time that they said, you're not. I said, well, how about Al Gore, who was in Davos, brought up that the oceans were boiling. And they started laughing. I mean, he worked himself up into a frenzy. We have yet to have a hearing where you had two sides, the Al Gores of the world and the experts to do a counterbalance. I have yet to see a disclosure where the monies that the corporate boards are I guess adhering to have a line item. This is the firm that's getting this money that's going to control the environment. I have yet to see that. I have to do that every day in my world. You know, Mr. Copeland, efficiency is not exactly a word here that's ever used in Congress, because it's not. If two things that I think Congress has a role in, one being diversity. Not of race and ethnicity, diversity of ideas and different opinions. That's what the boards have got to have. They fall into this line of just complying because it's the politically correct thing to do that this administration is forcing on the American people. And the other thing I would suggest is we've got to have, if we're going to disclose, full disclosure for the taxpayers who invest, for the small businesses who buy those index funds, let's have a line item of where that money's going, who's getting it, and explain to me how it's going to affect what they're all talking about, which is, Mr. Sire, you're exactly right. This isn't a crisis. It's a crisis by a certain few that are loud and that are board activists. But when we have as many things going on in this country, an invasion at the border, we've got crime, we've got so many things that are threatening our society, and then to divert the issue on that is lunacy. I'm running out of time, but any of you want to comment on any of that? Mr. Cunningham?
Well, I do think that the system of proxy voting has a lot of deficiencies, and the shareholder proposal rule has been expanded far too greatly to entertain all of these major topics of debate, and the corporate boardroom, the corporate meeting room really isn't the right forum. And so I commend your efforts to try to return to business through the shareholder proposal process. And the indexing industry is a wonderful industry, but it's got a problem. It owns the stock, which is great, but maybe it shouldn't vote the stock. And maybe that's a solution then we wouldn't need the proxy advisors either.
Thank you, Sergeant. So we're out of time. Appreciate your testimony.